Writing for Children class. I guess, hold on, I wrote it down what lesson we are. Lesson 15. I have two things I want to do with you guys today. And then, tomorrow I won't make a YouTube, but I'll be back again Monday. Nice work, I already told you on the Marrow Thieves, and I'll expect more coming next week. Good. Okay, so one thing I wanted to tell you is that, and I've mentioned it before, but I want to just sort of spell it out. This idea of figuring out what a character wants. Okay, that's really an important question. In a way, we could ask the question about any of us, right? So what a character wants, and then throw an obstacle in the way of what your character wants. Okay, that's pretty much sort of how to get a story going in a lot of ways. So, but the question of what, and maybe even to ask it, especially in this way, what does your character most want? And you could ask it about yourselves. It's an interesting sort of thing to ruminate about. So if what you most want is freedom, then if you're living through a pandemic, it will be very difficult, right? So all these kinds of, if you want to be famous, and let's say, I don't know, or a famous soccer star, but you can't dribble or whatever you're supposed to do in soccer. So when a person is like facing their own limitations, sometimes it's limitations imposed by the outside world too, that like the pandemic, that creates interesting situations. So as you're beginning to think about your character for the YA story, think about that question of what does this character really want? And you might even do it with some of your secondary characters too, right? Because then you can sometimes there's conflicting, desires. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, because, I don't know, thinking what else can I do with you besides talk about the Marrow Thieves, and I'll try to think of more stuff for next week. But I thought I would tell you, I showed you this magazine that I got this week. It's from Canadian Children's Book Centre. So I looked through it, the reviews, and there's only 3 YA books, okay? It's interesting that there's a lot more middle grade that are reviewed, also picture books, etc. So I'd heard this a while ago that the middle grade category there was a big demand for middle grade, and I'm wondering what's going on. That is there less YA than there was? For a while there was like nothing but YA. Middle grade kind of came later, but I think there's going to be, if you ask me, it's just a hunch, I think there's going to be a growing market for YA again. I think it was kind of saturated. Anyway, so interestingly, there's only 3. Okay, so here's one. I'll just read you a paragraph from each one. Fight like a girl. Now this is in keeping with what I said yesterday in terms of knowing the market, what's coming out, okay? The author's name is Sheena Kamal, and it's Penguin Teen Canada, okay? And I'll just read you the first paragraph of the review. It was a dark, rainy night. She didn't see him. It wasn't her fault. That's what Trisha was told, what her mother has repeated to her until she was forced to believe it. She didn't mean to kill her father. All Trisha wants is to practice her Muay Thai, you may know how to pronounce Muay Thai, kickboxing, and follow the #1 rule of being a woman from Trinidad. Be hella fierce. Okay, stop there. So to make this clear, what I just read to you is a review, okay? It's not the actual book. So it's giving us the idea of starting with a recap of what the book is about. So, but just to give you the situation, and you heard it, but she's Trinidadian, so we have this multicultural element big. You got some knowledge about multicultural communities? Go for it, use it. Like, you got it, use it again, right? Makes sense. And a very dramatic situation, right? The father's it sounds like the mother murdered the father, right? And then we got the other detail of the kickboxing, which is kind of interesting. Okay, next one. Just again, the first paragraph of the review. Larkin on the Shore, written by Jean Mills, Red Deer Press. 17-year-old Larkin Day is struggling, dealing with a mother in a rehab center on the other side of the country, and a more recent episode involving a boy named Jonah and a periobital hematoma. Okay, I don't know. Whatever, look it up, or maybe you know. Larkin's father decides she should spend the summer with his mother, her granny, in a small town in Nova Scotia. So, okay, so we got this health twist, which I'd have to look up to find out what it is. and the idea of the mother in rehab. So again, a very dramatic situation, right? So these two are both giving you super dramatic situations. So high drama. Let's see about the third one that's mentioned. Oh, I was going to tell you, by the way, I'm very proud. The Taste of Rain. Here, look at this. The Taste of Rain. Do you see it? It's reviewed. And by the way, you know what it says? This is a remarkable story of both courage and faith, a wonderful testament to the endurance of the human spirit. Wait, there was something else. Pollack, are you ready? Has written an extraordinarily moving fictionalized account based on the real experience, blah, blah, blah. I read you the two best lines. Okay. One more, and we're at 5:32. So let's see if the last one is also, okay. I love the title of this one. My Long List of Impossible Things, Michelle Barker, Anik Press. I think I mentioned Anik to you yesterday. And then we could add Penguin because I hadn't mentioned that in the list of possible publishing companies. Some publishing companies they won't just take unsolicited manuscripts. You have to have an agent. Penguin may be one of those. Okay. The declaration of the end of World War II was a moment of great celebration, but for many people in Europe, torment and uncertainty continued. In My Long List of Impossible Things, Michelle Barker invites the reader into the lives of Katja Siegert and her family as they begin their lives as Germans under Soviet rule. I'll just read a touch more. As Soviet rule turns impressive, Katja must flee from her home in Pomerania, that must be where Pomeranian dogs originated, with her mother and older sister to find refuge with a family friend in Fallhof. Okay, so here we go. We see it now. We have a historical setting for this one, a little bit like what I was doing. Oh, I thought what I'd do next week is tell you a bit about my book, What World Is Left, because I know I talked a little bit about it, but that was the plan that I had for one of the subjects for next week. Okay, 6 minutes, 55 seconds. That's a lot of Miss Pollack for one session on YouTube. Okay, take care. Have a good weekend. Think about your stories. Do creative stuff. Take care of yourselves. It's going to be gorgeous weather. Get outside. Do your distancing, and I guess we're doing okay together. Okay. Ciao. Bye. Miss you.